welcome to another High exclusive right here on High TV, your luxury channel. My name is Deema, and today we are going to talk about the great places to work here in Sri Lanka. And speaking of great places to work, I'm here at Haley's Advantage Limited, well recognized as one of the 50 great places to work in Sri Lanka. And I've got the Managing Director for Haley's Advantage with me, Mr. Ruwan Waidyaratne. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you with us on this interview. Let's start a little bit by talking about Haley's Advantage itself.
So Haley's Advantage is the transportation and logistics arm of the Haley's Group. As you might know, Haley's is one of the largest and most diversified conglomerates in Sri Lanka. It's been in business for 144 years. Haley's Advantage operates under 5 business verticals, namely international freight management, where we represent many principals, and then integrated logistics, where we do ground logistics for many multinationals. And then we also are the largest projects and engineering company, supporting a lot of the infrastructure projects. And then the marine and energy services, where we are also the largest ship owner, the Sri Lankan ship owner, and supporting some of the oil and gas projects that went on in Sri Lanka. And also we are quite large on the aviation side, where we represent some leading airlines and are into travels and tours as well. Haley's Advantage predominantly is driven by a very, very strong purpose. Our purpose is inspire, connect, enrich. We believe that or we remain inspired to do our best to all our stakeholders, making a meaningful difference to them, connecting very strongly with our partners, and building very strong partnerships. And all what we do is to make an impact to our people and enriching the community at large. So that's our purpose, and we are strongly driven by this purpose. And I must say that the bedrock of Advantage is our culture. We have a very, very proud and a unique culture that is even unique within the Haley's Group. And I believe that we've always been able to go beyond in whatever we do and come out as winners because of the strong culture that we have. And very proud to say that we consider our people a unique selling proposition, our USP. We call our people the right people who live our values and drive this culture very strongly. The success of Advantage thus far has, I would attribute it to the strong purpose that we live by, and the strong culture and the fantastic people that we have at Advantage.
Well, would you say it is the unique culture that you have here that has led you to be recognized as one of the 50 great places to work in Sri Lanka, and I believe across South Asia as well?
Absolutely. So we've been recognized as one of the best places to work, mainly because of our culture, because we believe in our people, and we spend a lot of time making sure that our people are developed from the point of sourcing the right people, getting them on board, developing them, giving them opportunity, and making sure that they are happy and comfortable to always deliver beyond. So that's definitely the reason that we've been recognized as a great place to work. And we're proud to say that it has been wonderful to be a part of the great places to work. It's now in our DNA because our culture is something that has come through the years. We've been in business for over 60 years, and culture is not something that happens overnight. So it has been something that we've built over the years, and proud to say that it has worked for us, and it has made that difference.
What's an ideal workflow for you? Let's just take a work day And what is your perfect work day?
What's my perfect work day? A work day where I walk into office and I see people smiling. That makes my day. I've always told my people to keep smiling. I've always told them that it's not all about business. It's about making a fun environment for people to want to come to work. And that's the kind of environment that we create. So what makes my day is when I walk into office and see people smiling.
So talking about current times, Sri Lanka has gone through a phase where we've gone through COVID, we've had lockdowns, we have come to a sort of an economic standstill at one point, and now we're slowly getting back up. So all through this time, how has Haley's Advantage Limited taken care of its employees and been there for them?
We did a lot of work during the pandemic to make sure that our people were safe. Being a logistics company, obviously we had to have some of our people working right in the front line to make sure some of the essential operations that we do, like delivering of oxygen to hospitals, medicines to pharmacies, and food to supermarkets. We couldn't stop all that happening. So whilst we continued our operations, we made sure that every measure was taken to protect our people. And a lot of initiatives were taken. And more recently, due to the economic challenges that the country faced, there were many initiatives taken to make sure that the people were comfortable. They were challenged at the very beginning without fuel to get to work. There was an initiative in the group to run buses on the main routes to ensure that people were brought to work at some very subsidized prices. And then we also brought in dry rations, fruits and vegetables. Dry rations were given free of charge to mitigate some of the pressures due to cost of living increases. We also kind of adjusted some of the remuneration that people were getting to deal with those challenging times. If I talk about the COVID again, there were many companies, to start with this, they were talking about cutting salaries. But we as a group never did so. We made sure that people's jobs were safe, the same levels of salaries, increments and bonuses were also paid. So they were quite grateful about that, given the circumstances. And we've done many things to make sure that people were comfortable.
There you go. Well, plenty more conversation to be had. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
Imagine the possibilities.
Haley's Advantage, going beyond.
Welcome back to the show. In conversation with Mr. Ruwan Waidyaratne, who is the Managing Director for Haley's Advantage Limited. And let's get back to the conversation again where we were talking about engaging with your employees. Let's elaborate on that just a little bit more.
As I mentioned, during the pandemic, we did a lot of things to engage our people. We carried out initiatives like a lot of the the most of the trading online happened during the pandemic, and there were various engagements with families, children. There were quiz competitions, there were photographic competitions, and many others. We got them to create a song, got many of our staff engaged in that initiative as well. One being the idea storm, something that came up during the pandemic, where we felt that we needed to engage people to find out what their thoughts are, get them thinking out of the box and bringing their creativity out. So this idea storm initiative, which was a creation during the pandemic, we had the idea storm, the first round happened some time ago, and more recently, just a couple of days ago, we concluded idea storm 2.0, and that's something that people engage a lot, and it's been great because that has really created a platform for people to think completely out of the box and bring out their innovative thinking to the front, and that's a lovely platform that was created. Also, very recently we had a large cycle parade where it was all about safe cycling, and we set up cycle repair facilities in strategic locations, and that's an ongoing project because we felt that it was important to get people on bicycles, because that's environment friendly, so it's pretty much to do with the environment as well. So that's another interesting initiative. And then we were also engaged in a marine ecosystem, where, being a shipping and logistics company, we felt that we needed to support protecting the marine ecosystem, and we donated a research laboratory to the Wildlife Conservation Department in Anabilundawa for all the research that is going on. So there have been many initiatives like that, and then we had another recent quiz competition. So all these kinds of things create a lot of engagement, and people across departments start working together, and it creates a great energy within the organization. So this is a continuous initiative, and I must at this point thank our people. It's actually the staff that comes out with all this creativity and all these initiatives, and I must say that every initiative that they carry out, they do it in true style, and that has really helped Advantis to make that difference, and it's, again, if you really look at it, it's about our culture.
Well, there you go. Certainly a great many initiatives have been taken to engage with the employees and to create that level of comfort between the employees during tough times, and now that we are moving on to better times as well. Now, talking about a professional level, are there any initiatives or steps taken by the company to help their employees grow and develop on a professional level?
Yeah, so there are many initiatives that are running within the group. We have very structured training programs running at different levels of management, and in some instances we've engaged international companies to run these programs for us. And another very interesting initiative is the Advantis Campus. That's something that we set up a few years ago, and that's an initiative where we are very own people, because being in the industry for 60 years, we have a lot of expertise and experience within us. So we have our own people go and train in this campus. So we train our own people, and that has really helped people to up their game. So there are people from different units wanting to learn new things, and we have our expertise to try and to share knowledge and build our own team. So the Advantis campus is something that is unique, and that too has helped us to get a notch or two higher against our competition.
Well, let's ask a bit of a comparative question. What do you think you do differently compared to your market peers that makes Haylis Advantis Limited a bar or set above the rest?
What do we do differently? As far as business goes, it's the same thing, right? If you talk of shipping and logistics, it's the same thing. Everybody does the same thing. But again, I zero it down to our bedrock, our culture. It's our culture that really makes that difference. Of course, a strong purpose where we are always inspired to make a meaningful difference to our stakeholders. So everything what we do, we would be inspired to make that difference. We say a meaningful difference to our stakeholders, and the very personal relationships that we build. We connect with people, and we build very, very strong partnerships. It's not about business today, but it's long-term partnerships that we work on. So finally, it's all about enriching our own people. It's no point in being in business and being the greatest logistics company if we can't take care of our people. So we focus on making sure that we create a better life for our people and also the society at large. So that's where we start from. It's not about becoming the greatest logistics company. Yes, we want to be the best in the industry, but with the purpose of creating a better life for our people and a better society.
Well, there you go. Pretty comprehensive answer there. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
Imagine the possibilities.
Haylis Advantis, going beyond.
final segment of the show, and I've got Mr. Ruwan Waidyaratne here with me, still talking about all the different aspects of Haley's Advantis Limited. Now, let's talk about a little bit of a touchy subject. Now, lots of people working in close quarters on different topics. There are bound to be disagreements between people, between teams. How is that handled?
Yeah, interesting question, because we do have a lot of disagreements because, again, if you talk about culture, we have a very collaborative type of a culture where we listen to everybody's views and then finally take decisions. There are disagreements in the rush, but I must say that people have the confidence to thrash things out. That's again the environment that we've created. So they don't fear thrashing things out and being very open about things and moving on and being assured that they would not be penalized in any way. Even if one wants to challenge me, that environment is pretty much there. They could question me, disagree with me, but the majority decision works. How we've kind of managed it is created that opportunity to thrash things out, give a fair hearing to everybody, and make sure that no one's penalized for challenging someone. So that has worked very well for us, and I believe that's the way forward.
Now, as a final question, now let's consider the next 6 months. Are there any changes or improvements that you would like to see within your organization or within your teams or your workforce to bring in better times for the company?
Advantis is, as I mentioned at the very beginning, it's a very, very diversified operation. We are into various verticals in the logistics sphere, and we have multiple challenges. So managing those are not easy, but we've done well to deal with the various issues. As I said, thankfully, we have a great set of people, some of them who are very, very experienced, who really puts the shoulder to the wheel and makes sure that we come out of all those challenges. All what I have told the people is, because Sri Lanka is not short of challenges, we've had one after the other. And I've always told our people in every dark cloud, there is the silver lining. So you have the choice of picking the dark cloud or the silver lining. And Advantis' success has been because we've always gone for that silver lining and looked at the opportunities rather than the downside, and that has worked for us. One very interesting challenge that we are working on is the millennials. We have a large segment of millennials working for us, and their thinking is very different to ours. They think differently, they do different things. So something that we are working on is to see whether the culture that we have carried through over the years, whether it really works for the millennials, whether there is any improvements that we need to do. Maybe there are certain things that they do appreciate, certain things that they don't. So it's, I think, having a large segment of millennials in the system, it is important for us to really understand them. We take a lot of time to understand them and to adjust ourselves to meet their demands. So that's one of the challenges that we need to, an interesting challenge that we are working on. I'm very, very optimistic because been very, very successful in dealing with issues, people-related issues. And that's why I said it's a very interesting challenge that we're working on. And we're confident that we'll be able to come up with an environment that would be future fit.
There you go, the silver lining for you to concentrate on. Thank you so much, sir, for sitting down and talking to us and shedding light on what a great place it is to work well for Haley's Advantis Limited. And we want to wish you all the very best for your future endeavors and congratulate you as well for the current recognitions.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Until we see you again with another high exclusive, take care and be safe.